person needs no introduction. I could talk about the celebrities he has shared the stage with. I could talk about him building up several companies and selling them for so much money that he's all about just giving back right now. He's a faith-based man with 5 children. And when he became an angel member, he said, Mark, I don't really need or want the royalty money from it, but I love being part of the team. So soon he'll be on the website, his picture in his bio as an advisor to our company, because now he's a co-owner. You'll get chills when you listen to what he's doing, you guys. It's really exciting. It's absolutely my pleasure to introduce who's become a good friend. Keith, please take it away.
All right. All right. Thank you, Mark. Thanks everyone for joining this morning or afternoon. I guess it depends on where you're calling in from. My name's Keith Aichele, and I'm happy to be here again. And it's real exciting to be back again, because I think it was maybe about 6-8 weeks ago when I did this last, and we've already got some awesome success stories from folks within Solveres that I'm going to share at the tail end here. And so what excites me about that is we've got a million things going on in what we do. You're going to see that in just a minute, but I wouldn't be here if I didn't believe that this not only works, but can work for each one of you, every one of you. That's how we designed it. And coming back in here with a proof point that the people within Solveres are different, as Mark said. They're not just looking for new opportunity, new things just because it sounds fun, but because they actually want change in their life and they want to change others' lives. And that was a big part of why I decided personally to become so engaged with Solveres and become an angel owner as well in the company, because we are very faith-based and it's about changing lives. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through I've only got a handful of slides, but I'm going to take you through something that I guarantee you have, unless you've seen me speak before, you have not seen out there in this space of real estate and give back and ways to create passive generational wealth. And that's even for those of you that have been experienced in real estate. If someone could also enable me to screen share, that would be great. So as I take you through this, I'm going to share more than you need to know to be successful in this program. So let me lead it with that, okay? And here's why I'm doing that. What we do is big, it's different, it's unique. And the best way to think of this is, how many guys have ever gone on Amazon and ordered something? Give me a high five in the chat box, raise your hand. Ever gone? It is so simple. You click a button. In fact, it's still early in the day. You could probably go on today, click a button, and something may show, depending on where you live, will show up later today, right? It's amazing to me. Like, do you want a 4 to 8 p.m. or 8 to midnight delivery? And it's like, wow. From a consumer perspective, it looks really simple, but you got to imagine behind the scenes what it takes to make something like that happen, right? A lot of complexities that happen under the covers. So what I want to tell you is we've designed this in such a way to try to make, as you get going to be successful in this system, as simple as clicking that button on Amazon. But I'm going to give you a little bit more under the cover so you can understand how it's so successful and why it's so successful and how you guys can earn incredible amounts of passive generational wealth. Who's okay with that? Would that be all right? Because it's important, and I'm going to prove to you people who are already on this call that are seeing this live in action. So let me go ahead and share my screen and I'll go ahead and get started. All right. So with that said, let me switch my views again so I get y'all back. And yeah, if you guys are able to share your cameras, that's awesome. I love being able to see people, feel like we're in the same room together. That's what I love about technology. If there was one good thing that came out of COVID, it was that we got used to, more and more people got used to virtual technology like Zoom. So we could actually make our interactions with people much easier because it's so much better to be in person. So let's talk about this new solution brought to you by Solveres and NextGen. And it really is designed, as I mentioned, to help you create passive generational wealth. And what's so cool about it is you're going to be able to do that while helping veterans and underprivileged young adults. This includes those aging out of foster care, along with other communities, victims of domestic violence and trafficking, people that have faced financial loss, people that are coming out of post-addictions and addiction recovery. How many guys like the idea of earning money while you can help people at the same time, first of all? Does that sound like a good? That's why I love this group. That's why you guys are here today. But I'm going to show you how we're doing it in a completely different way. And that's important to me because what we realized is we need to do things differently. What's out there today is helpful, but it's not solving the problem at some of the roots, and we need to get past that. So let's talk a little bit more about what this means, because it doesn't end there, guys. You will actually be able to build or expand your own real estate portfolio without using your capital or credit from any starting point. And I'll repeat that. You can build and and expand your personal real estate portfolio without using your capital or credit. And some of you might be saying, well, how can I do that? Well, I'm going to go into more detail as we go through this here over the next 30 minutes or so. But 90% of our acquisitions, I'm just going to give you a little preview, are what I call partnership acquisitions, which means we're not buying properties the traditional way. I think it was, was it Mark as well? Is that who you invited, Deborah? It was Mark, right? Background in banking and everything else. So we're used, and I'll go into my background. I used to be in real estate in a big way, and this is not the traditional ways. These are some of the new ways. And the cool part though is, and I think is important, is you do not, I'm going to repeat this, you do not need to become a real estate investing expert to make this work. That was one of the most important things as we designed out this program that we realized is it's so hard to learn real estate investing. As much as it looks easy on TV, people watch the shows, flip this house, flip a flop Vegas or Palm Springs or whatever your HGTV, the Property Brothers, or I don't know, there's a whole bunch. I don't even have those channels anymore. I've seen them though. But you go to those weekend workshops and then you get into the real world and it's a lot harder. How many people have actually done real estate in the past? Type into the chat box, just type in the word RE, put in RE in your chat box. Just letting me know that you've been in real estate in some way, shape, or form. You guys know this then if you've been in it. And so if we want to help people get success as quickly as possible, we need to take all the barriers out of the equation. So I'm going to talk about that as we go through this as well. Now, before I go into my background, because I think because I want you guys, would it be all right if I spend about 5 minutes, you guys can understand where I came from and where all this has been built from? Because I'm going to share with you guys some things that we've done. God has blessed us. So we got on this mission. God has blessed us with a variety of different successes and talents, and we've kind of combined them together in a whole new way. And so I'm thankful for that. But what that means for you guys is you have what's called the USP. I'm going to drop a bunch of marketing concepts for you guys as a bonus here today. Would that be okay? Anyone like learning marketing ideas and concepts? Is that cool? All right. So here's the deal. You in any business, if you want to grow, and that's what makes Solveres has this as well, you want to have what's called USP, a unique selling proposition. If you don't have something unique and different from the marketplace, you are going to have to outmarket your competition. It's going to take you millions of dollars, potentially millions of dollars, on your branding to get the word out. When you have something unique, and there's something I teach, I'm not going to go through here, you guys can get access to it later, there's different forms, called the USP Continuum. It's something I was asked to teach at Berkeley, and it's this concept that it proves there's 4 layers of unique selling proposition, and the higher you are up on the unique selling continuum, the better, USP Continuum that is, the more likely you are for success, to attract investors, to attract customers, to attract new clients, on and on, employees, etc. You need to have that. That's how you grow quickly. That's how you grow without having to fight the battles of, why is your pizza parlor different? Does that make sense? Like my pizza, so I have good pizza. It's our sauce. Everyone, it's in the sauce, right? So when you have a true USP, you're able to grow. And so the reason I think that's so important, because you guys have invested time, money, and energy into Solveres, and they truly have USP products, things that are unique and different. What I'm going to show you and what we're doing and my skills that come together, you're going to be able to tap into, so you have that instant USP. So when you get into real estate, you've already beat out the competition. Don't take this the wrong way, guys. When I was in real estate, I would outpace any realtor. I would outwin any realtor in the marketplace, and now we could likely outwin any real estate investor. And I don't mean that in any way. Get on my team. Let's not be competitors, right? I don't want to outplace anyone. I want to partner with you, and I'll grow faster. Okay. So we're going to talk a little bit about more of that in a minute. So I've got over 20 years experience in innovation, marketing, and real estate. I actually graduated out of college, a long time ago. I'm older than now. Look, I have 5 kids. I graduated and worked for the Nielsen Company, the global leader in market research. And then I left corporate America to launch a real estate marketing company back in 2000. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I knew nothing about real estate, but I knew marketing. At that time, I knew nothing about real estate. So I cashed out my 401k. I went through the ons and offs of being an entrepreneur. First year was the hardest year of my life. but I actually took my company to become #1 in the marketplace in 18 months. All right. And then over the course of 5 years, I built a suite of companies. I owned a real estate brokerage, a title company. I was in mortgages, appraisals, and I sold it all off in 2005. Now, I share that with you not to impress you, but to impress upon you that I don't care where you're starting from. It doesn't matter. What matters is understanding how do you market and how do you get there quickly. And I'm going to share with you how some of the strategies that we used to do that. You're going to learn that along the way as we go. How many guys would like to learn how to build your business even faster? Go even faster. Now, the reason I sold my companies, though, is because in 2005, I realized I didn't need any more money. I didn't need any more money. I had 3 kids at the time, and I was almost never home at that point. And we went from a level of being flat broke. I remember the first years. Anyone ever ridden the entrepreneur roller coaster? You have your good months, your bad months, and you're trying to figure out, man, how is this the right decision? So that was me for the first few years. We're living on ramen noodles, mac and cheese, and you begin to doubt yourself. Did I make the right decision? And then eventually, in a matter of almost no time, well, here's the deal. In a matter of 6 months, and this is back in 2000. Remember, the internet was just coming around. I figured out the formula and started getting 1 million hits per month to my website. 1 million hits per month. That alone in advertising revenue is massive just on its own. But I got to a place, as I mentioned, that we were able to go to Disney World, Disneyland every year. We could eat wherever we want. If you've ever been on that entrepreneurial roller coaster, it feels so good that I don't have to think about money anymore, right? How many guys are maybe still in there and would love not to have to think about money anymore? So that's where we got to. But I lost sight of something. Before I share why I sold, to give you a perspective of what we did. In March of 2003, I got a cease and desist from the state of Illinois. Who here knows what cease and desist stands for? It means shut your business down. You see, the agents tried to sue me to shut me down. I was like the Uber to the taxi cab drivers. We were so disruptive, they could not compete. They lost. We won. I wasn't doing anything wrong. I was doing it different. I believe in disruption. I actually don't mind. If I get sued because I'm disruptive, that means I did my job. Right? Because write this down, the first book I ever wrote, I told people this: if you don't make your own products obsolete, someone else will. I'll repeat that. If you don't make your own products obsolete, someone else will. So the problem in most people in their business is that they end up being complacent. This is why Blockbuster disappeared, right? They thought they had it all figured out. And what's so cool about Solveres even is they keep bringing in more and more products. Your product set of how you help your customers keeps growing with Solveres, right? The more and more things. So you don't have to keep reinventing yourself. They're already doing that for you. That's why I love, focus on your connections and your networking. They're going to help make sure that Solveres doesn't become old and stale, and you've always got something new and fresh. That's how you keep and maintain a good, healthy business, no matter what space you're in. All right, so let's fast forward. So as I mentioned, it became #1 in 18 months. I sold my company in 2005, and here's why. Because I wasn't getting enough time with my kids, and I realized money's great, and you need it to make impact and change, but what's the most valuable asset we have in life? It's time, right, guys? It's time. And that's irreplaceable. Freedom of choice. So this is what I do. Look, I'm telling you guys right now, I'm going to show you guys how to systematically, what I brought to the table. I'm not going to teach you all here today. There's just not enough time, but I'm going to show you the system we put together so that you can systematically build your wealth over time through real estate so that you can have the freedom of choice. I'm not saying you can be financially free. Some of you will, some of you won't, but if you have freedom of choice to choose where you work, when you work, how you want to work, that is one of the most valuable things that you ever need. However, becoming financially free is not hard, to be honest with you. You see, you could be financially free and only make $84,000 a year. Who thinks I'm crazy? Everyone thinks you need to be a millionaire. You don't need to be a millionaire. Do you realize if you have no debt, if you have zero debt, zero, and your expense, you can live anywhere in this country on $7,000 a month if you have no debt. In fact, you can live anywhere. I even looked it up. San Francisco, you can actually get in downtown San Francisco, you can actually get like a 1-bedroom, 1-bath for like $4,500 a month, right? So you got to rent, cover your utilities, you got food. So think about this. It's not about how much you make, it's about creating a way so that you have freedom lifestyle. And so that became our passion. all right, to show people how to create a freedom lifestyle. So that's what we're going to do here today. I'm going to show you guys systems that you can do that using real estate. Everyone on board with that? Does that sound good? Sound like a good plan? So here's what happened. I sold my companies in 2005, and then if you got anyone have kids, you start realizing when they start getting older, they don't hang around as much anymore, do they? We had a boat, so they would always, summers were great. They always wanted to go boating. Man, if we went boating, I get the kids and all their friends, but otherwise, I don't know where my kids are, you know? So you begin to get bored if you're an entrepreneur. So I started launching more companies, and I launched a marketing company called Mosaic. And the reason I launched it is so many entrepreneurs were coming up and saying, Keith, how did you do it? How did you build so fast? How did you grow so quickly? And I started realizing even the biggest of universities don't teach people how to successfully build a company, right? I just got a high five from someone who is at George. I think Gregory. He's like, yes. And the proof of it is 90% of businesses fail in 5 years. And if you look at that, those include MBAs. That includes MBAs from some of the biggest universities in the country. So that's not what it takes. So we launched a company. I started teaching and training. We built our own software and we started teaching and training. I became the keynote speaker for the largest trade show for small business in America. And I began to teach entrepreneurs, and people would invest thousands of dollars for the weekend. One of my best coaching clients that followed everything I told her to do. My partner Rachel and I were partners in business and life. We took her business, Ellen Lynn, from 0 to $10 million in 4 years. 10 million. How many guys like that type of success? But she executed. Look, I'm going to tell you this right now. You are not going to make a dime from sitting on this webinar, but you will make money if you sit, you listen, you take action, and you actually do something with what you invest in. That's the difference. You have to take action. This webinar does not make you any different than the moment you woke up this morning. I'm just being honest with you, but it does change your mindset to give you ideas and visions that can work if you execute them. And that's true with probably pretty much anything that you see in Solveres, and probably anything that people put out there. But the challenge is, how do you build a system that gets people successfully to the outcomes? That's the hard part. So let me keep running this through for you, wrap this up. In 2016, we did over 40 plus events across the country, teaching entrepreneur, teaching marketing. And then an epiphany came. I was on a stage with Armando Montalongo. Anyone know that name, Armando Montalongo? Maybe some of you real estate guys do. Yeah, a few of you do. Armando was one of the first people to ever do fix and flip shows on HGTV. All right. And so I'm speaking at this stage along with Brian Smith, the founder of UGG, Sharon Lecter. We had lunch with Sharon. She was sitting next to us here at the speakers lunch. Sharon Lecter, if you don't know, co-wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad with Robert Kiyosaki, right? So I'm on this stage, but I was speaking marketing at the time. I only did, after I sold my real estate companies, I'll be honest, guys, in 2010, I had to cut off my brokerage altogether because I couldn't get out of it. As much as I said I'm done, I was like addicted to real estate. Luckily, I've been very fortunate that, I don't do drugs, anything like that, but it was like an addiction. Like I was losing sight of my kids and my family because I enjoyed it so much and helping people. So I got rid of it. So I was just doing real estate for myself. But I was on this stage, and every time before I go up and speak on a big stage, there's hundreds of people in the crowd, and I stand backstage right before I go on to get a gauge of the audience, right? See how interactive they are. Are they laughing? Are they engaging? And Armando happened to be speaking ahead of me. And so I'm watching Armando, again, the first time I ever met him, great guy. And by the way, he knows how to flip homes. So this is not anything about his knowledge or expertise, but here's what happened. Armando offered a $50,000 week-long bus tour package. And what I didn't tell you guys, I was selling 36 homes a month myself when I was doing real estate. I sold over 1,200 homes myself over a course of 5 years. The average agent in Chicagoland sells 6 per year. So do the math. If I did 1,200 in 5 years, the average agent did 30. Talk about experience difference, right? So, I know real estate, I know the ins and outs, and I'm watching Armando. I watch all these people go up, and I see them race to the back table, and I'm going, oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, all these people are going to invest their life savings or take on debt for $50,000. And the issue is not because Armando doesn't know what he's doing. He completely does. The challenge is most people, not everybody, most people cannot learn real estate investing in a weekend or a week or even a month. It takes way longer than that to truly understand. So that was my epiphany. I said, wait a minute, I want to change the game. I want to help more people when they get to retirement actually enjoy their life. Because right now the average person at retirement is getting $1,500 in Social Security. That's not enough to live on almost anywhere in this country. Certainly not a lifestyle most dreamed of, right? So I said, what if we could change the game? What if instead of selling education, we sold the results? And that's what hit me on that stage. I didn't know exactly what it looked like in the moment, but that was my minute. I'm like, wait a minute. Why are we selling $50,000 educational programs? What if I change it and say, look, how about if I could show you how to make $40,000 acquiring real estate with $100 out of your pocket? If that's all it took. Would you guys give me half of that to show you how to do it so you can repeat it for the rest of your life when you make the 40,000? So if you make 40, you give me half for showing you how to do it. Who thinks that's a pretty fair deal? Versus paying me 40 up front in hopes that you do something with it. So that's what I did. And then I realized, you know what? The one thing I learned in life is this, and write this down for you guys too. If you don't pay for something, you don't pay any attention to it. That's it. That's the reality. In fact, I don't even do free webinars. Other than this with Solveres, if you go to my website, you've been to any of my events in the past, for the last year, I was running $7 webinars to learn about what we're doing. I don't even want people in for free. If you can't invest $7, the cost of a cup of coffee with a money back guarantee to learn something, you're not serious about learning. That's how I looked at it. So you got to pay for something. So I put a small fee, like $500, and I said, look, I'll give you my $40,000 package for $500, but you just commit that you're going to do something with it, right? So that's what we did. So we put together this program, and then we rolled out our investing. And then lastly, and then we'll go into how this works and how you guys can earn from all of this and set yourself up for passive generational wealth while helping others. In 2020, we officially, we were all set now. We built it all out. And then, of course, COVID hits, right? Just as we build everything out, we're about ready to go back out on stages and teach people about real estate investing. COVID hits. So we decided to do a few more things. We added the Aichele group, which is a Reg A plus offering with the SEC. We're expanding our capital up to $100 million in a matter of phases. And then along that journey between now and then, about a year ago, we launched Beyond Living. And I'm sharing this with you guys for a couple reasons. Aichele group is the reason that you guys don't need to have any capital. If you guys find opportunities in real estate that are good opportunities, that I'm going to show you how to find the good ones, I will get the capital for you. Who likes the sound of that? If you have your own capital, you can put it in, but you don't need to have your money anymore. All right? Second thing, Beyond Living. When we were building out our different models, we saw this massive void in the marketplace, and I'm gonna get to this. So we launched a nonprofit that allows us to help people. We call them reintegration. And I'm gonna go more into Beyond Living, but we help people get back into the workforce by giving them a job and giving them all that advanced training. Remember all that stuff I got? Actually, I was asked to teach at Berkeley in 2001. I was asked to partner with Yale on an incubator program for entrepreneurs. So I'm taking all this content that people used to pay me lots of money for, and I said, what if I gave that knowledge and expertise to those that are less privileged, less fortunate in life? What if we took all of our profits from our marketing company, because I don't need it, God's blessed us. I need to figure out, you move from a point in life from success to significance, right? And so what if we donate all that marketing stuff and taught underprivileged youth, veterans, those aging out of foster care? What if we taught them how to run and build marketing funnels and gave them all the profits? We could change lives and make impact. So that's what we did. I'm going to take you guys through that. So this is how we got here. And the reason I went through that story, and I hope it was helpful for you, is what I'm going to share with you is built on 2 decades plus of experience, knowledge, success, and now a willingness and a faith from God behind me to give this away and make impact and change lives. And we can do this in such a way that everyone wins, including you. Who would like to hear more now on how that actually works for you and how to go deeper? All right, well, thanks for letting me take you through that and share. So here's how you earn. In general, NextGen REI is you don't need to remember all of this. When you guys are going to roll in the program, you're going to get access to me on a regular basis. 3 times a week, I'm available. Jeff's on it. Marissa's been there. Alan's on there. I think Alan's on here somewhere. So many windows, I can't even see everybody on one screen. So I think everyone's out there. But anyway, you guys don't need to understand it all. And that was one of the first things that I want you to know. But I'm going to go through how you earn, and you're going to be like, but I don't understand. How does it work? How it works is this. We turn homes into higher income producing assets and share the revenue with the owners. For you guys, I'm going to give you some real simple short phrases. This is all I want you to do is apply one of these appropriate phrases with somebody. And that is, hey, I could help you turn your home into a higher income producing asset. When would be a good time to talk with my partner about that? How many guys could do that? How many guys could just learn that one line and go do that? I'm going to show you how to find vacant properties. And I'm going to say, hey, I notice your property, you're losing money every month on your vacant home. I could show you how to stop the cash bleed and turn this into positive cash flow in your pocket for generational wealth. When would be a good time to get on a call? That's it. That's all I want you guys to do. Remember how I said it's like Amazon, you click the button and you go? That's what I want you to do. And I'm going to show you how to find those properties. I'm going to show you how to use our system to schedule an appointment. How many guys can use a calendar scheduler, can go on the internet, find a window, find that 6 o'clock time that works for the owner and a facilitator on my team. And that's all you have to do. And then we're going to share with you on the profits. And I'm going to talk more about that. But as I go deeper into this, I wanted to share that up front because somebody goes like, wow, this is a lot. You got all these things. I don't want you trying to explain our Beyond Living model to people until you really understand it yourself. Does that make sense? Because you're going to end up getting yourself into the weeds and you're going to answer something wrong or say, well, my HOA won't let me have, multiple people in my house. And you're like, oh, good point. No, the answer is the HOA does not have a choice because our residents are protected by the fair housing laws. They can't. It'd be discrimination. They're protected by Disabilities Act, okay? But you didn't know that, so don't get into those conversations till you understand. Well, I don't know how to do short-term rent. I don't want this. I don't want that. So I'm going to take you through, though, now a little bit deeper how it works. Remember I said that's the Amazon button, and now it's a little bit how does this stuff actually get to your door at the end of the night, okay? So that's what I'm going to focus on for just a few minutes. So we turn homes into a higher income producing asset traditionally through one of two different models, all right? And you could write this down if you want to remember later, but when you're in the program, you're going to learn all about this, don't worry. We either do short-term rental or we do Beyond Living, which is our shared housing model. Short-term rental, for those that do not know, is like Airbnb, Vrbo, vacation housing. People come in for a weekend. We will take a home that normally rents for about $2,000 or $3,000 and make it $6,000 to $8,000 a month. All right? Who thinks that's a pretty good increase in return on a property? And so our model is real simple. I'm not going to buy your house. What I want to do is I'm going to partner with you. We're going to bring we run these coast to coast, just so you know. We have them in all different marketplaces. If you want to type your questions into the chat box, I'll try to get to them later unless they flows into what I'm about to cover. That way I make sure I get through the core. And then at the end, I'll cover everything off. That would be very helpful if you just want to put those in there. There might actually even be a question section. I can't remember what version of Zoom we have, but either way, put them in there. I will circle back. So we go through and we turn those into higher income producing models, and that's going to produce more revenue for owners of property. And I'm going to talk about the type of people we go after in just a minute. Now, you're going to use the other model is Beyond Living, which I'm going to go a little bit more in depth for, and that's a shared housing model as I described above. We do other types of models. Do we do fix and flip? We do. I got 4 fix and flips running back in Chicago as we speak right now. And we do models called Flip Our House. I saw lots of people in real estate. How many people have ever flipped homes? Type the word flip into your chat box. If you've ever done fix and flips, okay, watch this. Anyone that's ever done it, you're going to love this. I've been in this space 23 years. I no longer do flips the way everyone else used to do them. And I'm not going to go through it how. You guys are going to learn this when you join the program. It's going to be included as a free bonus. I get renovators to pay me to flip my house. I'm going to repeat this. I get renovators to pay me to flip my house. That means I go buy a house and I get the renovator to cover $200 over the cost of my mortgage to flip my house for me, so it's not a bleeding expense for me. Who likes that if you've ever flipped homes? Now I don't care how long it takes them to flip it. Right? They're going to be an owner. They're going to be invested into this property. This is how you want to operate differently. So these are just, guys, you saw at the beginning, innovation. My world is about innovate. How do I innovate differently, even in the space of fix and flipping? And I'll be honest, I hate fix and flip in some degrees. I like the outcome. I love transforming something. But if you've ever done a fix and flip, there's a pain process that happens between the moment you buy it and the moment you sell it. I'm selling the property right now. We did a flip in Calumet City, Illinois. We're supposed to close on the 15th, but in that city, you cannot sell your home till the city, any home, until the city's come in and done an inspection. They are not free to do an inspection in time for us to close on time. You've got to be kidding me. They're slowing down the buying process, the selling process. This is like the things that can drive you crazy in the world of fix and flip. They're out of your control. So anyway, all right. Now you guys are going to be able to use tools that we've created to connect to your target audience. In fact, one of the first videos you're going to watch when you join our program, I'm going to show you how to find 5 qualified real estate investment opportunities in 15 minutes or less for free. Within 15 minutes, you're going to have 5 target opportunities that potentially could be a perfect fit for us to partner on. Who likes the sound of that, right? Well, you got to watch the video. You got to take the action. If you don't take the action, you're going to have 0. If you do nothing in 15 minutes, you will end up with 0 leads. If you go through the video, I've had some people pull up 15 or 20 in that 15-minute time period. It depends on how good you are on a computer. If you're not as good, you'll get 5. If you're fast and you get it, you're quick learners, you might get 20 or 30. I don't know. Right now, Jeff's done it himself. He's finding them very easy to find them, right? I think Jeff might have said he was one who found them like 15 in the 15 minutes. Didn't take him very long. So then what happens is this. We're going to partner on those properties. And this is where this gets super fun, guys. You guys don't have to do anything other than you're going to use the language and the tools. We even have online marketing funnels. You guys know what a marketing funnel, a landing page that somebody can watch a video, read some information, and then they can fill out their name, number, and information. And we'll actually, we'll contact them. You'll get a notification. You could set an appointment with them. So sometimes you don't even have to pick up the phone, but I'm going to encourage you, text, email, phone calls, things like that. You'll learn how to do that. Now, when we get an opportunity and we work with an owner, you and I, meaning my company and you or you as a company, are going to form a joint LLC together for our projects. Okay. So you're actually working, and then we manage all the LLC paperwork. We issue you your K1, everything like, you don't have to worry about that. Who likes the idea of being involved in a partner with me in an LLC where we make lots of money together? You guys like that? So what we do is we then split it. And if capital's needed for the deal, you're going to get about 1/3 of the profits every single month. So how much does that come to? Typically about $200 to $300 a month for perpetuity. For as long as we have that relationship, that property, and my goal is to hold for life for generational wealth. So if you guys, so Daryl, I don't think Daryl's on I don't know if he's on the call. I've only got like 3 screens of people or something, but Daryl joined from Solveres like 6 weeks ago. And this Wednesday, we should be doing our follow-up call, our last call to get into the paperwork with a investor that he followed our strategies, and they have multiple properties. They're going to start with one. We're going to convert it into higher income producing asset, and that's going to produce for Daryl anywhere between $200 to $500 a month. And then they've got 5 more that they want to line up after that one. Is that pretty cool? Like, who would be okay with that? Yeah, that's huge, right? So now I will tell you, Daryl's results are not 100% typical. The speed is not typical, but the numbers are. And by that, I mean, Daryl actually did something when he joined the program. He went through the assignments, he jumped on the calls, he showed up and executed, right? I cannot control with what you do with your time, but I will guarantee you this. I will be there so you have access to myself and the team, but even me directly 3 times a week, so you're never stuck. Okay. Here, I write this down. Write down these words. I own my success. I own my success. You need to write that down because you need to put it into your head that you own it. It's not about anybody else. It's not about the program didn't work, this didn't work. You need to own your success, because I tell people in our program, there's no reason you should ever get stuck and say, I didn't know what to do. Because write these times down. Mondays and Fridays, 11 a.m. Pacific. That's 1 p.m. Eastern. Our coaching calls, so that's 11 a.m. Pacific, Monday and Friday, and then Wednesday is 5 p.m. Pacific. 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. You will get access to me to help you, right? With any questions. I can't find this. Is this a good deal? Is this a bad deal? Hey, can we analyze this one? We just went through a really cool deal yesterday about a guy who had a paid off property, needs $100,000 worth of work. And I explained to the team, how do we use the equity in the home to joint partner LLC with him and basically create an $11,000 a month income stream that we split with the owner with no money out of our pocket. Who likes the sound of that? Who would love to pick up an $850,000 home with no money out of your pocket that turns into maybe $500 a month or $600 a month for the rest of your life? That's what we did. So you guys are going to learn that. I'm not going to teach. Don't learn it until you need to learn it. But when you have something like that, I see Luis James. Actually, you might be one of our new members, if I'm not mistaken. You're Remax, is that right? Maybe. I don't know. I thought I recognized that name. But
I was Remax, but I'm Cascade Sotheby's now.
Is that what it is? I don't know. I saw something come through. I've been asking the team to forward to me all the orders as they come in, because I'm tracking how many people are coming Solveres. So I'm trying to keep my eye on who's coming from Solveres, because we have hundreds of people in our program. But I'm loving this relationship. You get the quality people and the faith base, which I'm going to get into in a minute. So now that I went through this, we're going to get to the end, how you can join, or maybe in the chat box, someone wants to put it in. I saw, is Dan, the church guy, still on? Dan, one of the things that we're doing, and for all of you, is we are working heavily to work with nonprofits, and we're actually helping them grow as well. So watch how this ecosystem's to get bigger. Guys, I know this may feel like a lot. This is how we get our Amazon order to the door tonight after you click the button. So recognize this. Okay, who we're going to go after, though, before I go into that, you're saying, who do I go after? Who's our avatar? First of all, sellers whose home is not possibly, not selling or possibly even distressed. Right now, the market is slow. There is no better time than now to find incredible opportunities out there. They're everywhere. And then they're by the dozens and dozens. Look, I like to call them hat tricks. You're going to learn this. Don't worry about writing this down, but I call them hat tricks. Stale, vacant, price drops. Properties that haven't sold in 60 days, 90 days, properties that are vacant, they're bleeding cash flow, people that have dropped $20,000, $30,000. This is your phone call. You ready? You're going to reach out to that owner and you're going to say, hey, I noticed you dropped your price $20,000. I'd love to show you how to put that right back in your pocket and then some. When would be a good time to get on a call with my partner? How many guys could do that? How many guys could go on Zillow and see, hey, which properties dropped 10, 15, whatever the number is, you just repay back what they dropped. Yes, Sam, I love it. You guys can do this. I know you can do this. And then they're going to say, well, how's it work? Well, let's just get on a time. My partner will explain everything to you. So you don't have to feel overwhelmed because you don't get all the ins and outs. Another avatar, individuals wanting to start or expand their real estate investing. I'm going to show you how to find their soul. Everyone knows that real estate creates more millionaires than any other path in this country. Go check it out. You could Google that stat. So why aren't more people in real estate investing? They're too scared, don't have money. They think they need money. That's one of the big things. They think they don't have the knowledge. They don't know what to do. So we're going to solve those issues. Then lastly, existing investors who want to earn more with less effort to simply make an impact. I have investors that are buying one property every month for Beyond Living, our shared housing model, our nonprofit. If anyone here is a licensed agent, that's a whole nother piece of income that I'm not even talking about at the moment. Imagine if you had a realtor that wanted to buy a property every month so that we could run Beyond Living. You got paid a commission from the purchase, and then you make $300 to $600 a month for the rest of your life on that property. That's like a commission on steroids, isn't it? That's huge. This is the next wave for realtors too. You guys could start attracting other realtors. I'm going to show you how we do team building. We're kind of like, we're not MLM, but I do have a profit share model and things like that, but I'm not going to go into that here. It doesn't matter. You guys need to make a decision that you want to be in this because you want to build your own personal portfolio, and even a few $100s a month for the rest of your life would be worth investing a ridiculous amount. I'm going to give you guys a ridiculous price on this. I actually already told Mark and Steve already know March 1st is the end of this introductory special Solveres offer because we just can't do it. Our support teams are all, we lose money when we set people on, and I need people to be committed. But you guys are going to be lucky because we didn't change it today, even though we probably should have. We didn't, so good for you. Let's talk about the social impact side now. One last thing. Investors who want to earn more. Check this out. I've got a property in Gainesville, Florida. How many guys know Gainesville, Florida? Anyone know what that's the home of? the Gators, right? I've got a property that was a student housing property. He was making $4,500 a month on student housing instead of straight rental at $2,000. So he's an investor thinking he's doing pretty good, right? Someone just like you in the same spot as you called him up and said, hey, I can help you turn your money into higher income producing asset with short-term. He actually said short-term rental. I normally wouldn't say that, but he wanted him to understand why. He said, okay, I'm willing to listen. We converted his student housing model into short-term rental. Our gross revenue in November was just over $14,000. $14,000. How about that? So all of a sudden, he goes from making $4,500 a month after expenses and everything else. He made about $6,000 or $7,000. Do you think an investor is going to like you when you deliver that type of return to him? Absolutely. And then they're going to say, how do I do more? We just launched. Actually, we just got our permit. Well, we should be getting our permit any day now. We just paid the final step in Columbus, Ohio. We launched our second of 3 that we've got going through their permit process. Short-term rentals. This woman has 120 paid off properties that she owns and was doing straight rental. We're converting her first one into short-term rental. Again, if you had brought that individual, that investor to the table, we would do the first one and all next 119 of them would be yours at about $200 to $300 a month for the rest of your life. Now, I'm not saying you guys are going to find someone with 120 paid off properties, but you get the point. Maybe they have 2, maybe they have 5, maybe they have 10. That right option on the screen, I'm going to show you how to connect with existing investors because I'm going to double, triple, quadruple, 10x their profits on their current rentals. Is that cool? Does that make sense? So now the question says, okay, how do we do good and give back? And then I'll wrap this up and then we'll go into Q&A. All right, let's talk about the social impact side. So we created a nonprofit called Beyond Living. And one of our core higher income producing models is a new model of shared housing that does this. We focus on taking the concept of shared housing to a new level with an integrated housing and vocational training program. And here's what that means. That we just don't give people a place to live. We actually get them the job. I've actually launched companies to not for profits, just to create jobs so I can put it into Beyond Living. We get them a job and then we give them all that advanced education and we help them launch and get back on their feet. You see, because in the world of people coming out of rough places in life, the challenge becomes this. If you take somebody who's going through addiction and they go through treatment and then you put them right back into the old environment, guess what happens? They end up right back in the same place again, right? We need to break that cycle. So what we did is we created this concept of Beyond Living. And in Beyond Living, our primary focus, meaning we have a big focus on helping our homeless and underprivileged young adults, 18 to 26, including those, especially those that are aging out of foster care. Here's why. 20% of those that age out of foster care end up homeless and 70% incarcerated within 2 years. Now, I've got 5 kids. So for me, I have a passion for our youth. And we started realizing, man, if we could help the youth at the young age, it would stop them of the later on destruction, the drugs, the addictions, the incarcerations, the domestic violence, all that other stuff. So why don't we just help them? So we started saying, hey, let's put a focus on that. We just partnering now with a new organization in Illinois. And they told me the stats in Illinois that only 37% of those aging out of foster care in Illinois have a high school diploma. Their options in life become limited, don't they? So now we can put them and move them into our program where we teach them and give them skills. The same skills I've been asked to teach at Berkeley, I'm giving to this youth. Because I'll be honest, you don't need to know who won the Battle of Bull Run to learn how to launch a successful business. Does that make sense? You need to learn entrepreneur skills. You need to learn how to use QuickBooks. You need to understand a P&L statement. My kids are 7 and 9 and have their own business. They do their own video editing, YouTube editing. Don't tell me you can't do this without a high school diploma. My kids they're homeschooled, but they don't have a high school diploma. Let's stop saying we can't and say, how can we make this work? So that's one of our big avatars. Another avatar for us is veterans. This was a stat that blew our mind. Veterans make up one of our largest homeless populations, the largest at 11%, over 40,000 every night go without a home. These are people that gave up their normal lifestyle and family life for our freedom so that we can have it. They gave up their today so we can have our tomorrow. Like, it's crazy. Why are we not doing more for them? So veterans, victims of domestic violence and trafficking, those that have financial loss, it's not included or should be on. We have a big focus on recovery. We've just partnered with the Salvation Army. They've got an amazing adult rehabilitation center, 6-month program. People are working 3:30 to 7:30, clean, 6 months. Let's move them into roles and jobs that can help them. Are you guys following? Again, this is the deeper of how these higher models work, but how we make impact together. So what we did, hang on, let me mute all. Maybe if someone got it. I'm not going to go too much into the depth, but we have 3 different tracks for people, just so you guys understand. We created transportation. So if somebody has a driver's license, we're going to get them on a job driving. We've got partnerships with Lowe's and Home Depot, and we can do courier service, junk removal. We launched our own peer-to-peer delivery service, which basically is like junk removal. You bought something to offer up and you got to get it home. You went to Costco, bought that big couch you didn't mean to buy, and you drove in with a Tesla. You can't figure, there's no way you're getting that on your roof. Like, that's what we do. We come pick that up. But what's so important, Dan, the church guy, and others of you connected into nonprofits, we created an amazing model you're going to learn more about, where nonprofits can have their own plug and play peer-to-peer delivery, and 70% of profits will go to nonprofits, 50% back to that organization. So this is awesome, because now what happens is we want to help the local churches. We want to help the animal shelters. We want to help them do their cause. So if we all just share this mission, our folks in our Beyond Living homes will come do that delivery service for them. And we just market that. And now I'm going to put this out. I know this is recorded, but guess what? 1-800-GOT-JUNK isn't going to be able to compete with our model that makes a difference and gives back. I don't need profits. I don't want profits. I want impact. I want change. I want to help our foster kids. I want to help our veterans, our women of domestic violence. So that's what we're doing. So when you guys get in on this and you guys are making those connections, remember that first statement, I can help you turn your home into a higher income producing asset. What's going to follow is we're going to turn that home into a home of change and value and impact and become a life change for different people. And guess what? Yes, you're going to make $200 to $300 a month or more every month, as long as we continue to be able to run our program on that property. Is that pretty cool or what? I told you, you probably haven't seen anything like this. I mean, this truly, this is where I was going, the monthly cash flow. Then we're going to have like the animal shelter. Guys, I do this today. I'm going to be honest with you. I fly Southwest. I'm a loyal Southwest flyer. I love their model. I like my free bags. I get to fly first in the front of the seat because I fly so much. I don't have to pay extra to be first class. There's no first class section, but I get the front of the plane. Well, guess what? If you go to Southwest Rapid Rewards and you click on their site and then you go buy at Walmart, and they might have taken Walmart off now, but they've got hundreds of retailers that if you simply go to their site first, you earn points, frequent flyer miles. Right? More miles. I do that. So in this idea of peer-to-peer delivery, hey, I got to get my junk removed out of my house anyway. Why don't I go to my local animal shelter, which I love, and use their link to get my junk removal order, because 50% of the profits will support that animal shelter. People will make those decisions for the for benefits, right? That's how we dominate. So that's all part of what we built together. So this is perfect. I'm coming to the top of the hour, and then we're going to open up for questions. So let me explain now what's all included. If you guys, first of all, give me a high five in the chat box. Give me a 5 in the chat box if you love what I'm sharing with you and you love the idea of being part of this type of change and impact for your own good, for your family's good. You're going to create passive generational wealth. You're going to help others create generational wealth. You're going to help change the lives of people in need. You're going to help your local organizations, nonprofits with their missions. We all win, and you don't have to be an expert in this. Does that make sense? I'm going to go back to what I opened with. I'm going to show you some simple steps that you guys are going to be able to simply go out and say, hey, I can help you turn your home into a higher income producing asset. When would be a good time to get on the phone with my partner? I can help you get rid of that vacant property or solve that pain of that vacant property. When would be a good time to get on a call? That's all you need to say. That's it. And then let us take it from there. Is everyone clear on that? Give me a 9 in the chat box if you are understanding that's all I'm asking you. Then from there, we're going to work with the owners to deploy these models, do all the paperwork, bring in capital. Every Beyond Living home takes $20,000 of capital, furniture. Same thing with short-term rentals. You don't need it. I've already secured the capital. If you guys have capital, my investment partners get 18% on their money guaranteed or more. 18% guaranteed. You see how I'm attracting investors? I make it such a win because without furniture in a home, I can't do the Beyond Living model, but I make 8 to 11,000 out of a home through the program. I can pay 18% on the furniture. It's simple. We just had to think outside the box. So yes, you guys are probably realizing this guy's disruptive. He's going to get 1-800-GOT-JUNK as his next cease and desist order. I know, that's fine. Let them come after me. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just doing it different. I don't need the revenue. God has blessed me. And he's blessed us, and he's going to bless you guys. All right, so with that said, let me talk about what's all in the program. Then we'll talk about how you could get it on Solveres. I'm going to give you guys an incredible, incredible price. Don't freak out for what you see. That's the value. It's actually more than that. And I'll tell you why, but let's talk about what's in it. Marketing funnels. All the marketing tools you need, you get included. I own a marketing company. We have our own software. You're going to get a mobile app on your phone that you can share with people. Weekly live coaching. Did you guys write down those times? Again, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, you will have access to myself. The only few times, I maybe miss 2 a year because I'm on a plane, but otherwise I have someone step in for me. You're getting me directly. I don't know any other program, not Fortune Builders, Renatus, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, whatever you want to call it, where you get the expert, the founders coaching you every single week on the real estate investing. Now you get these guys, the founders of Solveres, because they're amazing, right? They want your success. I'm talking real estate education, right? You don't get that ongoing. Deal structuring done for you. You don't need to know how to put these deals together. You don't need to know how we use option buybacks to buy property with no money out of our pocket. We acquire real estate, even when we buy. I just closed one a couple months ago. I bought a property and I had zero money out of my pocket on an investment deal. Now, I know those of you in the mortgage space, you're thinking, wait, don't you have to put 20 to 25% down on an investment property? Wait till I show you how we do it without having to do that and get traditional financing. So we will buy some. I still buy a few a year that I keep for my own personal hold. Because here's what I'd love to do for each and every one of you. I haven't shared this before on this group, but I'll just share it. It's a bit personal, but it might inspire you guys. I live in Las Vegas now, but I have one property back in Aurora, Illinois. If you know Aurora, Illinois at all, it's a far west suburb. One property that I'm running
right out to my car.
That one property covers my entire housing and living expense to be in Las Vegas. So for the rest of my life, my family is covered by having one short-term rental that's running for me. Now, we have over 60 properties that I have nationwide, and we have a network. We have even more through the network. But imagine if you just had one, and even if it just paid your car payment. But what if it could pay for your housing payment? Who would say that that would be awesome to help you and help your family, right? I've got a lake house down in Interlochen, Florida. It's actually just outside of Gainesville. I get to use it whenever I want, but that thing generates about $5,000 a month of revenue on short-term rental because I can charge a lot because it's a lake house with its own beach and a pool. So people come for that week, and I don't allow less than 3 days at $500 a night plus, right? But imagine if you had one of those. What could that do for you? So I'm just giving you guys ideas to realize there's a lot more in real estate investing than what's out there, and I can't give it all to you here, but I want to show you what's potential if you guys are willing to do something with it, right? So deal structuring done for you, capital, and a bunch more. You got portals and all these other bonuses and affiliate structures. You can actually build a team. You can use your Solveres team, and you could be earning a piece of the deals that they put together. So there's a lot to come, and I don't want to overwhelm you because all of it's worth it for what I'm about to show you. If you were to go to any real estate investing training, weekend workshop, whatever, you're going to spend at least $25,000 to have this type of coaching, probably 50 to be honest. And you guys know that if you've ever been to these, right? Well, what I did for Solveres, actually what I did for most people is I made it really, really inexpensive. But Solveres, I did an introductory price of only $195, okay? Because the money doesn't change my life. The money, where we actually, the part that's impactful, who am I seeing out there that's not part of our program yet? Dan Clott, I don't think you're part of it yet. Let's say, Dan, if you got a deal and we partnered together, we're going to end up each making $200 to $300 a month for the rest of our life. That's where I'm going to make money, okay? Noticeable, where it's impact. I mean, $200, that pays my team just to get your software set up, right? I'm invested into your success, Dan. Does that make sense? Because I don't make anything until you make success. And here's the bigger part. At that point, it's less about the 200 to 300 because I lose money on a lot of my homes. I actually have some homes that I launch before I have residents in them. So I spend $4,000 a month just to cover homes that I haven't filled yet, so that I can make a bigger impact with Beyond Living. So to me, Dan, if we could get, maybe 10 more properties together and you can make $2,000 a month and I can make $2,000 a month, that's another property that I can open up and maybe do it as a free shelter for women at domestic violence, because they can't work right now. They don't fit our normal Beyond Living program. So I want to look, God will bless us 100-fold over with what we sow, right? You will reap what you sow. And God, when you're doing God's work, he will continue to provide. And that's how I look at it. So I'm invested in this for you guys. I'm invested for your win. This price is going up. So on our website, it's $1,500, and some of my events, I do it for $500. You guys get it for $195. That is ending March 1st. I'm just letting you guys know that now. And it's not because I want to take more, but here's what I found. A lot of times at lower price points, people aren't committed. And honestly, I don't even want your $195 if you're not committed. If you're not going to do anything with it, then keep your $195. But if you're going to work it, guess what? $500 is nothing. You'll make that back on your first deal. Then 2 months on your first deal, then you already got that back, right? So for now, it's $195. So if you want to join today. You'll get some extra bonuses for joining today. Once you enroll, I'll tell you what a bunch of those are. I'm going to get the Q&A here, but that's it. Like literally, I'm in this to make impact. And the bigger piece for me is how many homes can we provide to help our foster kids, et cetera. I'm going to tell you guys a very discouraging statistic. I just learned this. I told you I'm working with this foster organization in Chicago. Last year, they placed people coming out of the foster care into, they turn 18 and they place them. Out of 54 kids, they placed 40. 14 of those kids they could not place. And I'm going to tell you why. She told me why. They couldn't place because sometimes it was because of their color. Sometimes it was because of the darkness of their color, which is unbelievable. Some of it was because they're part of the LGBT community. And so I said, I want to have homes for those 14 kids. There's no reason those kids, we're all children of God. There is no discrimination. There is no difference in my mind. So I want us to be successful so that we can have homes to help people like this. We've got to stop this nonsense. We've got to make impact. And guess what? These homes for these 14 kids are going to be better than the other 40 because they're going to have a job coming out of the gate. By the way, some of our driving jobs, people are earning $3,000 to $5,000 a month in their driving jobs. We're going to be earning in the transportation $18 an hour minimum. So we're going to make impact, and then we're going to educate them. And I'm even investing to help them launch businesses if they're qualified, successful entrepreneurs after a year. I'll invest in their business. So I want to help where people aren't willing to help or where people don't know that they can get help. So that's my mission. If you guys are on board, I'd love to have you part of what we got going on. There's more to it. You could do fix and flips, and we'll partner on those deals too. And that's fine. But none of that to me has long-term impact. That's just, I like fix and flips because it's cash infusion to go buy a house for Beyond Living to help our foster care kids or help women in domestic violence or sex trafficking, right? But there's really no big passion to me in fixing homes because it's such short-lived. So anyway, I'll shut up now and answer questions. I hope this was helpful.